The Burley Coho, 520 bucks. Is it worth it? Let's dive in and find out.
All right, so what's really interesting to note on the single wheel trailers, you fit really well in between the lines here. But there are some cons, like you can see how much the trailer is going to be wobbling coming down this hill. And it actually causes me to reduce my speed and sit on the brakes. I would rather not sit on the brakes given the amount of weight that we have on our trailer. But from a two-wheel to a single-wheel setup, this setup is actually awesome when it comes to roads where they don't have the shoulders. And so usually there's a couple inches on the right side of the rumble strips on the smaller roads. And so you can fit in that space. In fact, in this series, we do fit in that space in multiple points and times in the video where there's just no shoulder.
Let's talk about the pros and cons of the Coho XC trailer. The first con in the video we've already talked about is the wobble that goes on when you're touring. I'm going to show you what I can fit in here. So let's just start stuffing stuff in here. This is 70 liters of storage. 30 back there, 30 there, and 70 here. So we have over 100 liters of storage all told in this setup right here, plus the 4 different panniers I can put on the bike, but we're just gonna focus on this for now. Let's stuff it and see what you can throw in there. This is gonna be my tent. I'm gonna bring a spare axle. I'm gonna bring my foot booties. I actually wouldn't tour with those booties or without those booties anymore. Those things are awesome. Sleeping bag. We got our tent stakes. We've got our pot. We've got our butane stove. We got our butane. We've got some tires. All right. I can open this quick. Shit, that's not good. Well, to be honest with you, I've never had that happen, and it's super interesting that it just did. And it's because I have left this in here, and so what was interesting is the liquid just shot out and it dried up. But so that's my own personal error. Now that we're not dead and we can breathe, let's get back to filling this. So I guess we'll just put this guy back without the butane in there like an idiot. Very good. Freaking reeks like butane. I'm gonna have to wash that. Okay, so we put some tent stakes in there. Let's put a couple more. We got our bicycle pump. As you can see, like, it fits the majority of the stuff that you're gonna be touring with. You don't have clothes in there. And some other stuff like that, like your ditty bag and so forth, that's not currently in here. But this in and of itself can fit the majority of what a typical person would normally bring on a bicycle tour. So I am a big fan of MOLLE systems, right? So for the MOLLE systems, I could be having all kinds of different accessories mounted right here, from water bottle cages to emergency kits to my ditty bag for my showering and my those kind of things that you need, your shaving creams and all that other nonsense that people want to bring with them right here. So this space is entirely underutilized, and they didn't think about it a ton. But the number one thing I do appreciate that they thought about was this connection system. I now have logged, I think, close to 240 miles on this setup, testing it, demoing it, making sure it makes sense, the pros and the cons. And so a lot of the adapters for the trailers are going to be on this side, and you're starting to see more dually setups. But the frame on this is ultra light compared to some of the other trailers, and the quick connect and disconnect system on this is superior. But one thing I don't know about, see how it's starting to chafe and to wear? We'll see what happens over time. I did throw in, and I think you saw it earlier, I bought some extra axles in case these guys go bad, and these I think screw off. So these will be swappable on the actual axle itself. The axle will go forever, but this part I have concerns going forward, if it's going to warp like this just based off of that tiny load that I have there on this guy, I have concerns about the longevity of this piece. And this is already better than some previous ones. And I'm just going to hop over here and I'll show you an example of systems and why this one is superior bar none. Most of the systems are going to have twist-on connectors. Like this is the Surly long bed. And so it's got these stupid twist-on connectors, right? So you hop on the axle and you twist this guy on over the bearing that rotates, but this just sits on the bearings, and it wears these bearings out so fast that it's just not worth having. And then you have to sit here and twist and twist and twist and twist and twist, hop onto the other side, twist, 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 wasting time and energy. So I do believe that the industry will recognize this for what it is and how awesome this connection system is. But I do have concerns about the ability and the longevity of the mounting part over here, not necessarily this. I will be curious to see if this part or that part fails first. But thus far, this trailer is awesome. I love it. It's amazing. They do need to spend more time thinking about the trailer.
I mean, there's just countless options available. And so it's one of the areas, even like pannier bags in the industry should be adopting MOLLE systems, and they just don't. Rock Bros, I'm surprised. They're usually pretty good, but like just in general, the whole industry is missing an entire opportunity for a superior system when it comes to mounting the different needs of people who are bicycle touring. Yeah, I mean, just look at all of the different. So here's a rack that there's something similar, and it's sold by who is it? Priority sells it, but there's a company called like 149 that makes it. So I'm just gonna go to the link I'm familiar with. Priority bicycles. That was very hard for my brain for some reason. You just go into here. You're gonna grab your accessories. Yep, right there. Bingo. So this guy is perfect for MOLLE systems. It's made for MOLLE systems, and it's mountable on the back of or onto any kind of racks on the front, the back, or the trailer. In this case, we're reviewing the Burley Coho. So this is a perfect example of how Burley could change the design on the Burley Coho just a bit. Even like taking this setup right here and making that the sidewall for the trailer gives you infinite options for customization on the trailer itself.
And the utilization cases for it, they could be selling other accessories to go with this trailer, and they're missing financial gain opportunities by not selling you guys on Burley Coho MOLLE attachments and so on and so forth with this specific trailer. Now, when it comes to like the space available to me, I don't like in these trailers how it takes this space away from me. I like square spaces. It's just, to me, it's just better, right? So they're probably thinking about ergonomics and crap like that. But for me, I prioritize comfort. So when I tour, I want my things to make sense. They need to be comfortable. They need to be practical. And so I'm not afraid to have a few extra pounds or a few extra odd-shaped objects with me in order to maximize my comfort. Now, on, say, the front here, let's take a look at the front. What I don't like about the front is it curves in like this. I like my spaces squared off, and I like them to make sense that way. It's a personal preference, but it's a pretty big important preference to me. And I also don't. It's got all these open spaces to lose stuff. You can see right now, like if I have a ditty bag that opens, and it, like, let's just say it bounces around back there, and like I got my music playing or something, it's gone. I have no idea. It's gone. It fell out. So that makes me nervous, and I don't like that about this trailer. I understand it's like to get rid of the liquid and crap that gets in there. And that's actually why I ended up using a 100-liter bag inside of the 70-liter space to keep everything contained, to keep everything safe, to mitigate those risks that I just showed you. Other than that, yeah, I mean, that's the majority of the comments I have about the trailer. Hope you guys liked the video.
comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I want to know what you think, and I look forward to taking what you're saying and applying it to future videos about this trailer and validating different opinions and views. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and onward to glory. Hit that sub button.